Alright, guys, it's been a long night. If you remember this video here, I come today, purchased my Porsche. I bought a Porsche Panamera. I was so excited last night. I couldn't sleep, first of all. if you know me, yeah, that didn't happen. In fact, I think I actually addressed it a little while back ago on one of my recent videos where I didn't get the Porsche, but and they actually had to reschedule me for drum roll today. So I'm actually going to be getting it today, and I'm excited. I haven't what it feels like an eternity. I have not slept in like the last 2 days. I'm excited. And I know a lot of you guys probably like, what is he so excited for? Well, of course, guys, I'm getting a Porsche Panamera. It's something like my dream car. And I think back like 2 years ago, I was in the mindset that I really wanted this car, but I couldn't afford it. How could I afford it? So I turned some tables and opened some doors for myself, took some opportunities, and I found a way to get the Porsche that I wanted. And it's exactly the one that I wanted. So it's kind of like I don't have anything to complain about. However, the dealership that I bought it from is bought it online from Carvana, and it has been like pulling teeth and nail trying to get this. Coffee just finished. It has been like tooth and nail trying to get this car from them, and because it was a setback, and the setback not only took 10 days, but I was supposed to have a car for New Year's, and it just kind of worried me. I don't know what to expect now. I don't know what they're going to be delivering me. So here in about, my guy said he'll be here in 9:30, 9:45. So he has about 19-20 minutes tops before he says he should be here for a fact. So I'm kind of excited. The Porsche is still one of my dream cars. I always wanted to be a Porsche owner. And guys, if you have any idea about this world, if you have no idea about this world, I want you to know this. When you want, whatever you put out there in the world has a weird way of giving you what you ask for. But you have to be specific. You have to be really specific in what you ask for, because the world, in the terms of this program, is kind of like, it's literal. So you may ask for a new car. You may get a new car, but maybe not the one you wanted. You got to be specific. You may ask for more money. You may get a pay raise, but not what you expected. Just please, I ask you to just be specific in what you ask for, and be careful for what you wish for. Because like I said, the world has a weird way of giving you what you want. So, but anyways, the Porsche is almost here. I'm excited, and hopefully my phone will go off in the next 15-20 minutes while I pour this cup of coffee. I don't know how much to tell you. Like, I used to think that people could, with YouTube videos, and I was doing research, I thought they were like fanboys of the community, Porsche community, and just these over exaggerations of how a car is supposed to be. And you gotta think about the other options that I've had available to me. I had the Dodge, the Hellcat series, or the Chrysler 300 S. Just different like sportier cars. I like sedans. I didn't quite want a two-door yet, but I wanted a sedan model. I had the Cayman option available to me, but I'm thinking about all these other fanboy cars where you can't say anything bad about it because the owners will come at you strong. And I was starting to get that feel about Porsche. However, I drove it. I put 100 miles on it today because I had stuff to do. But as I was driving it, guys, first of all, the first 50 miles was totally driven in like a touring mode. Like city on the freeway. I'm driving from point A to point B, and I'm just driving, just see how, get the handle of it, get the feel for it's a new car. And for the first is like, okay, is it me, or is this car is grabbing onto the to the road to a point where I'm feeling everything. I guess that's what they call handling. The handling in this car is very responsive. Like, you can feel everything. It's not in a bad way. It's also almost in sort of a way where you are able to maneuver. This car is like maneuvering through the bumps and of the terrain of the freeway, and it's like it's odd feeling because most vehicles don't do that. Like trucks, I'm used to driving trucks and SUVs, and you don't feel that because of the road and the terrain is changing rapidly, especially depending on where you are. So I was kind of not used to that because I've been, like I said, I've been driving SUVs and trucks for like the last, my work car has been a Malibu, which is a terrible drive. It's a terrible drive. And I really don't have anything to judge a sedan on, because the last vehicle I drove was a Chrysler 300S, and I actually loved the 300S. It was a smooth drive. I think I had a defective alternator, but besides the point. So I drove the first 50 miles or so in touring mode, basically city miles, and it was rather smooth. The steering wheel I felt the grabbing. I got to get used to it because that's just Porsche. Evidently Porsche it grabs the concrete. The handling is just so responsive. So that's something that you have to get used to. So that's just something you have to get used to as a Porsche owner. So you got to get used to the responsive handling. I don't know how else to say it. The last 50 miles, I kicked it up a notch, guys. I put it in sport mode. I hit the paddle shifters, and all I can say is, wow. I have never driven a car, and I haven't driven many luxury cars, but I have driven a Jaguar F-Type. Fun. That was pretty fun. But the power compared to a Panamera Porsche, what's in my Panamera Porsche, and that was a sport sedan, sport-ish mid-size SUV. That was a fun drive. I actually drove that in Florida when I went to vacation in Florida. But this, guys, is a car. When I tell you, the minute I put this car into sport mode, it's like saying, you sure? Actually, it's not even going to ask you if you're sure. It's going to just kick in. It's ready to go. I see why I'm seeing reviews and people are talking about the Porsche in such high regards. I see why the quality, the interior is immaculate, guys. First of all, the interior is immaculate. You cannot get this in a Hellcat. This is the beautiful interior. You cannot get this in a Hellcat Dodge, a Dodge Hellcat or Challenger. The interior is almost laughable when you think about it compared to what's inside of a Porsche. The quality of a Porsche is just so much greater, man. And I'm not saying that to talk about Dodge or anything. And Ford has the Ford GT, of course, but that's that car's up there with a Lamborghini and the other $100,000 price tag vehicles. There aren't many Porsches that are $200,000. Now there are some up there where you can buy, you can pay for $175,000 for a Porsche, but they are relatively under $200,000, $150,000, which is, up, it's still up there, but it's not going to be that $250,000 Lamborghini Aventador that you want. Actually, they're like over $250,000 now. So that you're not going to get that necessarily, or so to say, but you will get something close. Now, but with that being said, this Panamera Porsche is a magnificent drive. It's kind of like, if you are a cigar smoker, think about smoking a $8 cigar versus a $20 cigar. This is a $25 cigar smoke. It is that good. Like, I don't know how else to say it. I was actually shocked at how the car looked in person. The car looks amazing on pictures, but in person, unbelievable. Like, I'm my expectations were actually blown away. Everything from the design of the Porsche to the handling, to the driving, to the integrated system here. It's magnificent. I don't know how else to explain it. Overall, this is my first day in it, guys. I've been waiting on this car for 10 days, and there was a minor setback, so I had to wait 10 extra days for it to get here, but now it's here, and I'm like, wow, I'm loving it. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. I didn't think I was gonna like it this much. I thought it was gonna be like, man, well, I'm gonna get a Porsche, and I'm not gonna like it, but I'm wrong. I love it. I'm gonna keep it. So that's it for today, guys. I'm gonna take this bad boy for another spin. I'm just having too much fun in it, and hopefully it come to a point where I'll dole out and be like, okay, I have a Porsche now. But if I don't, like many other people say, like if they fall in love with this car every time they see it, it is that fun to drive, and I love it. So guys, I'm gonna take this for another spin, guys. So I'm gonna cut you off, and I'll see you guys later.